بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله تعالى نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته إخواني وأخواتي في الله. This live stream has been brought to you in conjunction with Newcastle FM, and I would like to extend my thanks and my gratitude to the brothers at Newcastle FM for allowing me to deliver this lecture to you today بإذن ربنا عز وجل. This time last week, إخواني وأخواتي في الله, we met up online and I discussed the lessons, or some lessons shall I say, that could be taken from the Khalil of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ibrahim alayhi as-salam. But before delving into those lessons, we looked at the importance of, always striving to the best of your ability, specifically in the blessed month of Ramadan, but also it extends to outside of the month of Ramadan to perform righteous actions. And the most beloved actions to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as I mentioned in our last lesson, are those actions that are done consistently, even if they are few in number. And this was taken from the hadith of Aisha, our mother Aisha, wherein she said, radiyallahu ta'ala anha, saddidu wa qaribu, yani the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam said, saddidu wa qaribu wa'lamu anna lan yudkhila ahadukum amaluhu al-jannata wa anna ahabba al-a'mal adwamuha ila Allahi wa in qal. The meaning of this hadith is that Aisha said that the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam said, do good deeds. Do good deeds and perform these deeds sincerely and moderately. And know that your deeds will not enter you by themselves into the paradise. And that the most beloved deed to Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala is the most regular deed and the most constant deed, even if it were little, or i.e. it wasn't a big power move. But I also said that in no way, shape or form takes away from the fact that Muslims, we should strive to perform those power moves. And I gave you the verse in Surah Al-Baqarah where Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala speaks about Ibrahim raising the foundations of Al-Bayt. And in this ayah, the word Al-Bayt refers to the Kaaba. And we looked at all of the benefits and the lessons that we can extract from that particular ayah. Time, unfortunately, does not allow me to go back into the ayah. But inshallah ta'ala, for those of you that did tune in, inshallah ta'ala, you can go over your notes, or for those of you that missed the live stream, then inshallah ta'ala, see if you could watch the repeat. Now, off the back of my last lecture, guys, what I want to speak about in this particular lesson is the importance of our speech. For the Muslim, male and female, to be cognizant about the words that come out of his or her mouth. And there are perhaps 2 ayat or 3 ayat and 2 ahadith that I want to focus on in this regard. The first hadith is the hadith on the authority of Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, wherein he said, عن النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام قال إن العبد ليتكلم بالكلمة من رضوان الله من رضوان الله تعالى ما يلقي لها بالا يرفعه الله بها درجات. The Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam is reported to have said, and this hadith is collected by Imam al-Bukhari. This hadith is sahih. The Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam said that indeed a servant of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala may utter a word. He may say a word which causes the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, at the time when this servant utters this word, he doesn't give it much thought. He doesn't think that this word or this kalima that he's given is that important. However, it is so beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it causes the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will raise the individual in degrees. وكذلك وإن العبد, the hadith goes on to say, وإن العبد ليتكلم بالكلمة, that indeed the servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will utter or may utter a word. من سخط الله تعالى, from the things that cause the displeasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لا يلقي لها بالا, and he doesn't give this kalima any importance. He doesn't think about the gravity of this particular word. But this is so severe to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, يهوي بها في جهنم, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will cause this individual to be thrown into the fire. Words, ikhwani wa akhawati fillah, al-kalimat, words are powerful. They're not tangible. You can't touch words. Walakin, they are extremely powerful. Through words, not only words, but through words, individuals enter into the religion of al-Islam. Through words, ikhwani, not only restricted to words, but through words, people exit the fold of al-Islam. Words, ikhwani wa akhawati fillah, are used to give advice and exhortations. Words, ikhwani, can start wars. How many wars and how many, arguments have been caused as a result of the words that we utter? Words, as I just mentioned in the aforementioned hadith, on the authority of Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, collected by Imam al-Bukhari, words can bring about the displeasure of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. And subsequently from the same hadith, they can cause the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, such that the Muslim will enter the paradise. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by his best names and by his greatest attributes, to allow all of us to be from among those people that enter the paradise. You, we, I, we all control the effects of our words, so long as we curtail them and we impose some restrictions on them. And this is something that is super duper important. Once again, we control the effects of our words so long as we curtail and impose restrictions on them. The moment, ikhwani wa akhawati fillah, you let that kalima, and when I say the word al-kalima, I'm speaking about a word or speech in general. The moment you let that kalima leave your mouth, you now, ya Abdullah wa Amatullah, are no longer in control, and you're no longer able to govern the extent of the pain, the extent of the hurt, the extent of the damage that that word or that speech has on other people. And by extension, you too have to live for the rest of your life with the consequences of what come about as a result of that thing that you said. So an individual can be in a state of extreme anger, and he says something in a state of extreme anger. That's not excusable when it comes to the rights of creation. Or the opposite is true. Somebody could be in a state of extreme happiness and say something, but later on he ends up regretting that which he says. So long as you control that kalima, then you're in control of the effects of that. But the moment that kalima leaves your tongue or leaves your mouth, you no longer govern or control the extent of pain, damage, and hurt that kalima causes. So what do we benefit from this, ikhwani wa akhawati fillah? This requires the Muslim, male and female, young and old, to be cautious concerning the dangers of the tongue. The tongue, as they say in Arabic, sari' al-haraka. It is quick. If you don't impose those restrictions, that tongue can get you into trouble. That tongue, ikhwani wa akhwati fillah, can get you into trouble. When you are living your daily life, you have to be aware and you have to make a conscious effort to protect this, such that you avoid anything that will lead to the displeasure of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. And this can be applied to so many areas of our lives. This could be applied to lying. This could be applied to joking. But sometimes, some of us have a habit to lie when we joke. This could be applied when we're trying to be either intentionally or unintentionally offensive to people with our tongue. This can be applied to tail carrying. This could be also applied to backbiting. And the reality of the matter is, ikhwani wa akhawati fillah, some of us have to struggle more than others. For some of us, it's natural to not offend people when we speak. For some of us, it's natural to just say nice and positive things. Some of us, on the other hand, have to struggle. And if that's your battle, then that's something that you have to own. And that's something that you have to recognize. And it's something that you also have to try and put certain mechanisms. And this is not the first time I've used this type of speech, putting mechanisms in place such that these mechanisms will help. Okay? These mechanisms will help us avoid the danger of the tongue. And from these mechanisms that you can put in place is the statement of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala in Surah Qaf. And this is an ayah that each and every single one of us should at least try to, if we don't try to memorize it, at least have a very, very deep, comprehensive understanding of it and the ramifications of it. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says in Surah Qaf, ما يلفظ من قول إلا لديه رقيب عتيد. One more time. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala يقول, as it relates to mankind, ما يلفظ من قول, that man does not utter a single word, إلا لديه رقيب عتيد, except that he has a observer prepared to record. So if you place this mechanism, إخواني وأخواتي في الله, بين عينيك, between your two eyes, that ayah is constantly with you. What are the and you really, really understand the ramifications what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. You truly believe that whatever I utter, good or bad, or anything in between, that it's going to be recorded. That, inshallah ta'ala, is a mechanism which will help you avoid saying those things which will cause the displeasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the flip side is true. It will help you, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's permission, to be in a state whereby you're going to increase in those kalimat wherein that's going to be observed and recorded for you. Another tremendous ayah, which we should all, like I said, if we haven't memorized it, then we should all seek to have a comprehensive meaning of this ayah, whether it be in English or in our whatever native tongue you speak. It's the statement of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala wherein he says, وَلَا تَقِفُ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ, and do not pursue that which you have no knowledge of. إِنَّ السَّمْعَ وَالْبَصَرَ وَالْفُؤَادَ كُلُّ أُولَٰئِكَ كَانَ عَنْهُ مَسْئُولًا. He says that indeed the hearing, the sight, and the heart, about all of those one will be questioned. We're going to be questioned, ikhwani wa akhawati fillah, based on this tremendous ayah of the Quran. It's not what I'm saying. This is the kalam of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. You're going to be questioned about your sama', that which you hear, that which you allow yourself to listen to. You're going to be questioned about that which you look at, what you allow yourself to be exposed to. And you're going to be questioned about what you allow your heart to become attached to. From this ayah, one of the takeaways from this ayah is that the Muslim, male and female, young and old, should should strive to be in a constant state of self-accountability. And the moment you relinquish and you almost just give up this self-accountability, then that's the recipe for disaster. That is when an individual is more liable now to fall into saying that which is going to have some serious ramifications in a negative way, Yawm al-Qiyamah, because he's now no longer holding himself to account. And that is a cop-out. That's the easy way out. When you say, you know what, I'm not going to even think about the ramifications of what I say. I'm not even going to think about what I allow my heart to be exposed to. I just want to just be me. You know, some people try to, cover this up under the guise of, I'm just living my true, authentic self. And the reality of it is this. It's not that you're living your true, authentic self. What it is that you're allowing yourself just to fall victim to your desires. Because that's what it is. Unless you're going to constantly be in a state where you are holding yourself accountable for that which you say, that which you listen to, that which you look at, that which you allow your heart to be exposed to, then you're going to find yourself in very compromising situations. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, he mentions in the Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah, وَوَصَّى بِهَا إِبْرَاهِيمُ بَنِيهِ وَيَعْقُوبُ يَا بُنَيَّ. And Ibrahim instructed his sons to do the same, and so did Yaqub, saying, Ya bunayya, O my sons, Inna Allah astafa lakum ad-din, that indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen for you this religion. فَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. So do not die except in a state of al-Islam, or do not die except that you are Muslims. Now when we look at the word وَوَصَّى بِهَا, يعني, and he instructed or he advised his sons. When you think of the word, the very nature of the word advice, it necessitates that whatever that person is being advised with is important. All right, it's important. It has to be important. We don't advise people for trivial, silly things. We advise people with that which is important. And in this tremendous ayah, we see that Ibrahim and Yaqub are advising their sons with two tremendously important things. Number one, observe Allah's religion. Observe Allah's religion. This was the wasiyah, advice of two tremendous prophets. And the second one is remain in a state of submission to Allah Ta'ala for as long as you possibly can, up until death creeps up and takes us. Up until death creeps up and takes us. Now, when you examine this ayah in English, and I've only got 1 more minute, guys, so I'm going to wrap it up now. When you examine this ayah in English, and Ibrahim instructed his sons, and so did Yaqub, saying, "O my sons, indeed Allah has chosen for you this religion, so do not die except while you are Muslims." We understand the importance of what is being advised. However, it's only when we go back to the Arabic and we examine the grammatical structure or the grammatical nuances in certain words that we understand that not only was Ibrahim and Yaqub advising their sons with the aforementioned two things I mentioned, but they were tremendously passionate about it. We look at the word فَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says فَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ, it doesn't merely mean and don't die. That noon at the end of the word فَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ is known as noon at-tawkeed, and it's at the end of the verb, and it is indicative that Ibrahim and Yaqub felt extremely passionate about it, because words are passionate. Words are powerful, as I mentioned at the beginning of this lecture. فَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. He didn't merely tell them don't die except as Muslims. He says don't you dare die. It was almost as if he's commanded them, and this new understanding now gives a completely stronger and deeper understanding to the exhortation that he gave to his sons. Ikhwani wa akhawati fillah, I'm going to have to wrap it up here because it's 6 o'clock and my time has expired. I do thank you, everybody that's tuned in today, for allowing me to, share this brief advice with you guys. I hope that by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's permission, you were able to extract some benefit. Anything that was good was from Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, and anything that was a mistake or any deficiencies in my delivery was from the deficiencies within my own selves. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Jazakumullahu khair, ikhwani at Newcastle FM. Thank you so much for allowing me to share this with the people. Barakallahu feek. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.